like you. Be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one.
JIN'S upcoming concert is more than just a stage comeback. For millions of ARMYs, it feels like a long-awaited reunion, a symbol of resilience, warmth, and the unbreakable bond that BTS has always represented. Yet, beneath the excitement, there's one question echoing louder than the rest. Will Jikook attend together? Every comeback, every milestone, somehow always circles back to them. Jimin and Jungkook, the pair whose connection has lived quietly but powerfully through every silence, every glance, every song. Days before the concert, Jungkook suddenly went live on Weverse. No warning, no teaser, just that simple notification. Rabbit-faced Jungkook has started a live. The world seemed to freeze for a moment, as if holding its breath. ARMYs rushed to tune in, hearts racing, eager to see their golden magne again. But this time, something felt different. His eyes looked softer, his smile calmer. The light in his room reflected off his skin in a way that made him almost ethereal. And then, there it was. A faint sound in the background, like laughter. Not loud, not clear, but familiar. That's when chaos began. Within seconds, Twitter exploded. Was that Jimin? Fans asked, replaying the clip in slow motion, amplifying the sound, comparing it to old Jimin giggles. Some claimed they saw a shadow pass behind him. Others swore they heard a whisper that only a Jikook fan would recognize. Jungkook turned his head slightly, smiling to himself. Then, almost too quickly, he said, "It's just a friend." But ARMYs knew that tone. That little shy grin, the tiny pause before saying friend, it wasn't something you could fake. It was the kind of tone someone uses when they're trying to hide warmth. When they're trying not to blush. And as if the universe wanted to fuel the fire, just a few hours later, Jimin posted on social media. A soft selfie, warm lighting, his caption reading, "Always supporting you, Hyung." Everyone understood it was about Jin, who was preparing for his concert, but some fans couldn't shake the feeling that it was also meant for someone else. Especially when they noticed the ring. The simple silver band on Jimin's finger that looked eerily similar to the one Jungkook wore in his live earlier that night. That small detail, that tiny ring, was enough to send the fandom into emotional chaos. Because for those who've followed Jikook for years, the matching ring has always been more than jewelry. It's a quiet symbol, a thread that connects them even when they're apart. And just like that, the Jikook timeline came alive again. Screenshots, analyses, theories, and most of all, a wave of nostalgia that felt like being transported back to the days when their interactions filled the world with warmth. But amidst the laughter and excitement, a new topic emerged, this time about Jungkook himself. Some fans noticed that his face looked slightly different. His nose appeared more defined, a little higher, the bridge sharper. Under certain lighting, his profile looked almost sculpted. Within hours, the question began circulating. Did Jungkook get a nose job? It wasn't meant to be cruel. It was curiosity mixed with disbelief, because Jungkook has always been naturally stunning. But as the debate spread, so did the tension. Some defended him fiercely, saying it was just lighting, filters, or even a new camera. Others analyzed older pictures side by side. Then, during his next live, Jungkook smiled knowingly. He read a few comments, chuckled softly, and said, "I just rested well, maybe too well." That single line melted the internet. It was Jungkook being charming, playful, quietly confident. He never needed to explain himself. His laughter said enough. And fans couldn't help but fall for him all over again. But for those who looked deeper, there was something more in that smile. A quiet peace. The kind of glow that comes not from surgery, but from being at ease. From being loved, maybe, by someone who's always been there through every high and low. Because that's what Jimin has always been for Jungkook. His quiet anchor. His safe place. Over the years, ARMYs have watched them grow, not just as idols, but as people. The way Jimin looks at Jungkook with soft admiration, The way Jungkook unconsciously reaches for him in crowded spaces, the subtle laughter that passes between them like an invisible language. It's never loud, never obvious, but always real. And now, with JIN'S concert on the horizon, that warmth feels closer than ever. The question keeps returning. Will Jikook attend JIN'S concert? ARMYs believe that they will. Maybe not hand in hand, maybe not in front of flashing cameras, but somewhere, together. Because that's how they've always moved through the world. Quietly, sincerely, side by side. Some imagine Jimin sitting in the audience, smiling as Jin takes the stage, his eyes occasionally drifting toward the VIP section where Jungkook might be. Others imagine Jungkook backstage, waiting with flowers, cheering for his Hyung with the same love he always shows for his members. Whatever the truth is, one thing remains certain: their connection hasn't faded. Even when schedules keep them apart, even when silence replaces interaction, the small details tell a story words cannot. The way Jimin still calls him Junk, with that same tenderness. The way Jungkook's voice softens every time he mentions Jimin Hyung. These are not coincidences. They are reminders of something genuine. And perhaps that's why fans hold on so tightly. Because in a world full of noise, Jikook has always spoken in quiet moments. A glance, a smile, a ring. When people ask why ARMYs care so deeply about them, the answer is simple. It's not just about shipping. It's about connection. It's about recognizing the beauty of two souls who have grown together through years of chaos, pressure, and unspoken emotions. Jimin and Jungkook have weathered storms together. From their trainee days to performing in sold-out stadiums, from laughing over coffee to enduring online scrutiny, their bond has remained steady. Even when the world tried to define it, they never did. They simply were. And that's why moments like Jungkook's live, with that faint laugh in the background, that tiny smile, mean so much. They remind fans of everything unspoken, everything real. As the date of JIN'S concert draws nearer, ARMYs around the world are preparing. Not just for the music, but for the possibility of witnessing something quietly extraordinary, a glimpse of Jikook together again. Maybe they'll appear side by side, maybe they won't. Maybe the cameras will catch a familiar silhouette in the crowd. Or maybe they'll just be watching from somewhere far away, supporting Jin in their own quiet ways. But even if we never see it, fans will feel it. Because that's what Jikook has always been about, feeling. A connection that doesn't rely on proof, just presence. Jungkook once said, "Sometimes I don't need to say it. People who know me, they just know." And perhaps that's exactly what applies to Jimin too. So when the lights dim and Jin steps onto the stage, when the music begins and the crowd sings along, maybe, just maybe, somewhere in that sea of purple, two hearts will meet again, silently, across the crowd. Maybe Jimin will glance at the same star that Jungkook is looking at. Maybe their smiles will align for a moment that no one else can see. Maybe that's enough. Because love doesn't always need to be loud. Sometimes it lives in glances, in laughter caught on a live stream, in matching rings that speak louder than words. Whether or not Jungkook had a nose job doesn't matter. Whether or not Jimin was in that live doesn't matter. What matters is that after all this time, the feeling remains warm, tender, alive. And when Jin sings his final song that night, as the purple ocean sways under the lights, ARMYs will know that somewhere, Jikook is there, in spirit, in heart, and in every heartbeat that still believes in them. Because real love, no matter how quietly it hides, always finds a way to shine.